Who likes anime and also video games? This guy. Alright, that was cheesy. Anyways, for fans of anime and people who also own an Xbox, you might be thinking, what kind of games can I play on this thing that, has my favorite franchises, maybe like Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto, or Attack on Titan. And it's a little teaser of what's going to be in this video. We're just going to talk about anime-inspired games that you can play now on your Xbox One or on your Xbox Series X. So I'm going to list off my personal recommendations, and I'm also going to list off some ones that you should probably avoid at all costs. So the first anime game that I want to recommend is Attack on Titan 2. In this game, you follow Eren in his adventure from the very beginning all the way up until chapter 50 in the manga. And also, if you get the DLC, the final battle, it brings it all the way up to chapter 90. So I don't really want to say where that leaves you off in, because I don't want to spoil it for people who never watched anime, but it gives you pretty much the entire story up until the current season that's airing right now. So that's good. That's a lot of content. The best part about this game is that you can create your own character, and you follow the adventures along with Eren, Mikasa, and what's his name? The blonde guy. Whatever his name. I can't even think about it right now. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So the combat in this game is pretty interesting. You have an open world environment, and you have to swing around with your ODM gear, sort of like Spider-Man, and you have to go ahead and kill the Titans that you come through. There's normal Titans, there's the abnormals, there's even the big Titan battles that you might have along the way, like maybe you're going to fight an armored Titan. It's a pretty fun game, and it's also really unique that differentiates itself a lot from the anime. The fact that your character is involved in the story, it puts a different perspective on it as you being the new character. And also a fun part about the game is that you can also upgrade your gear, and it's really unique of what you can have. Like, for example, you can have a butcher's blade instead of the normal scout knives. It's freaking awesome. Next one on the list is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. So this is a team brawler, and it is by far the best Naruto brawler you can currently get. And it's also the most complete. So if you liked the Naruto franchise, I really feel like you guys would like this game. The story mode in it takes place towards the latter part of the anime. So all the way to the very ending from about the war arc. So if you don't know what that is, don't have to worry about it. Anyways, the characters is also what makes this game really freaking cool. It has the widest roster of fighting characters you can have, and it's great. I think there's at least over 100 options to choose from. From the very beginning of Naruto all the way to the end of Shippuden, all the major characters, they're in this game. It's great, and they all have ultimate abilities. It makes this game really fun. Now, the fighting style, they're more samey. There's not really lots of differentiate each character besides their special abilities, but it is still such a fun game. And the fact that it's a team-based fighter adds a little extra layer of strategic element to it that you guys would enjoy. So, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. So there's going to be a little bias on this list. Sorry. The next one on the list is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. This one is, I want to say like an MMO light type game. It has you go through a bunch of different quests along with friends. And when you finish those quests, you unlock items, skills like new abilities like Kamehameha, the Big Bang Blast, and just a bunch of other special abilities. And that's just the start of it. It's a really fun game, and the story is also really interesting. If you've never played the original Xenoverse game, pretty much basic plot line is you are what's called a time patroller, and you can create your time patroller from scratch, and you can be whatever race you want, like the Piccolo race, or Namekian, I should say, Saiyan. You can be a human, you can be a Frieza race, you can even be a Majin. It's really a fun game. The premise of the story, again, is you're a time patroller, and there's these waves that are happening between each event that you might have seen from the anime initially, with a little twist every single time. Someone's trying to manipulate the timeline, and your job is to fix it. So it adds a lot of extra elements to the game, and it adds a lot of what-if scenarios that makes this game very interesting. Again, this game is really more focused as being a team-based game with friends. Grab your friends, level up, go get some good abilities, make your sick build, go Super Saiyan 3, and just go kick some ass. As you guys can see, I'm a huge nerd. I love anime. I also love video games and card games. So best believe the next game on this list is Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Duel Links. This game is a fun game. It brings you through every single adventure that Yugi went through in the very beginning of his storyline. And it even brings you to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It brings you to Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. It brings you to like so many different Yu-Gi-Oh! Things. Like you can make a collection, guys. A virtual collection. You don't need to buy these anymore if you don't want to. Still buy them if you're a fan. But in all seriousness, it's a fun game, and the fact that it has a huge roster of cards, it really gives you a lot to experiment with and play around with without having to really commit the money to get invested in the franchise. Now, if you do get into it eventually down the line, well, now you have a good basis and a good starting point. You know, like maybe you have the funnest deck that you like to play, and now that's the one that you're going to go out and try to buy. It's a fun game. Again, it brings you through the entire storyline. You can use your own deck during the story, or you can use the the main character's deck that he was using at the time, or even the person he was facing. It's really a fun game. This one is not going to put you in the Shadow Realm. Alright, so I have a clear bias with Dragon Ball, right? So we're going to get another Dragon Ball game in this one. The story in this one, it's not really even relevant. It's there, but it's not even really good. This game is Dragon Ball Fighterz, and it's by far the best fighting game on this list. If you ever liked Marvel vs. Capcom, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 growing up, and you add a little bit more fast-paced combat that Dragon Ball is more accustomed to, you get Dragon Ball Fighterz. It's a team-based fighter. Again, a lot like Marvel vs. Capcom, where your teammates have extra abilities that they can help you with and supports. Such a fun game. Great combos. This game is actually still like on the Evo circuit. So if you're a huge fighting game fan, you know that like if you're on Evo, like your fighting game is actually a fighting game. This game is fantastic. I cannot recommend it more to anyone who's even likes any sort of fighting game. Even if you don't like Dragon Ball or anime, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a game that you guys must play. So I want to know, I'm going to go into the games that I don't recommend you now. However, there's still a bunch of good ones that you can go out and play. Like the Sword Art Online Alicization, I believe it's called Rebirth. There's Jump Force was a really fun one as well. There's really just a lot of anime games out there to play. These are just the worst ones that you should avoid at all costs. Now, there's a trend to both of these. They are both brawler fighters, a lot like Naruto Shippuden, but a lot more basic. The first one is My Hero One Justice. Oh my gosh. The roster, extremely minimal. I don't even know how they managed to pull that one off. Like, this one takes place, I believe, between like the first and second season. And yeah, maybe he has not fought like the biggest bad guys out there yet. But there's still a lot of characters that happen between like now and then that are like actually good guys that should be in this game. Also, the story mode is terrible in this one. There's nothing animated. It's all like comic book, manga set pieces that just like you have to read through or get some voiceovers. It's really lazy. The combat in this one's also really lazy. It's pretty much a one-button fighter for the most part. Everyone feels the same. The ultimate abilities look okay, but I really don't recommend this one. Now, if you really need to get your My Hero fix, there's One Justice 2. It has at least more characters, so maybe try that one out. And it does fix on some things, but it's still not one I recommend fully. All right, and the final one I don't recommend, I should say, is the One Punch Man game. It is by far the worst built fighting game that I've seen. It tries to follow a lot of what Jump Force does with the hub world, but it does such a terrible job in this one. Like, at least in this game, you can create your own hero, which you cannot do in My Hero, which makes no sense, by the way. But the execution of it is just terrible. In a world where like there is like ultimate strong bad guys, you don't ever feel powerful in this game at all. Avoid it. I really do hope this is one franchise that we see a good game from eventually. Maybe not necessarily even a fighting game. It can just be a 3D adventure action game where like I don't have to do like, you know, like one-on-one fighting all the time. And that might be better for that game. But we'll see. That's my list. If you guys have any other games that you guys like, dislike from this list, and maybe some things I excluded, go ahead and leave that comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to Project Xtalk. Give us a like on the video, share it, and follow us on Twitter at Project Xtalk. I will see you guys next time on whatever this series is that I do. I guess now I recommend stuff. I don't know what to call it. Ciao.